presentation will be discussing a contemporary organisational behaviour topic that is prevalent amongst most workplaces, a work-life balance in human service organisations. I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which we work and live and recognise their continuing connection to land, water and community. I pay respects to elders past, present and emerging. The aim of this presentation is to define what a work-life balance in a human service organisation is, to discuss and analyse theoretical issues surrounding this topic, and to provide my own lived experience on my own work-life balance that has impacted me personally. I will be reflecting on my own experience as a residential youth worker. Social work is a profession that proceeds within the confines of an organisation, and thus the social worker carries out tasks that are defined by the culture of this organisation. Social workers are employed in various sectors. This includes voluntary family sectors or in hospital settings. By promoting certain values, political stances, and promoting social change through critical thinking, research, policy development, counselling and networking, social work professionals bring unique awareness and capacity to organisational practice. It is widely recognised that professionals in the caring professions, in the nature of the job's demands, deal with a range of stressful experiences on a daily basis. Social work professionals are working with individuals, groups and communities that are facing complex issues such as mental health, discrimination, oppression and more. It is becoming increasingly clear that the issues rooted in the various aspects of the organisation and in the context of service delivery are the key stresses that impact job satisfaction, professional commitment and retention. These stresses can include staff shortages, excessive paperwork and administrative burdens, demanding workloads, limited resources and inadequate training, more so than critical incident stresses or stresses related to vicarious trauma. Work-life balance has become an increasingly popular topic, professionally and commercially, over the last decade. Supporting the development of this raises a series of interrelated questions such as, what is work and how does it differ from life? Can the perfect balance between work and life outside of work be achieved? How is work best shaped to allow balance? And how can employers fulfill their obligation to ensure work entertains the notion of a balance with other life commitments? Work-life balance is defined as an individual's ability to meet both their work and family commitments as well as other non-work responsibilities and activities. Many individuals, organisations and governments are supportive of the concept of work-life balance, and it is widely presented and discussed as a solution to issues faced by many in the workforce. Further to this, it is also regarded as a valuable form of workplace organisation that employers should acknowledge and support. Work-life balance initiatives are having the potential to be a win-win for both individuals and organisations, in that through the implementation of work-life balance policies, organisations can ensure that employees deliver the best possible input whilst also meeting family, work and community responsibilities. Work-life balance is related to reduced stress and increase greater life satisfaction. Work-life balance was prominent prior to the Industrial Revolution, where life was divided into phases of work, rest and recreation. Once automated machinery was introduced, industries increased working hours, which had a large impact on an employee's productivity. Whilst addressing the barriers to a work-life balance, organisations must include family-friendly and work-life balance initiatives that can support this productivity and retention. Better work-life balance fosters not only job satisfaction, job performance and organisational commitment, but also life and family satisfaction. The work-life balance also reduces stress-related outcomes such as psychological distress, emotional exhaustion, anxiety and depression. Many social work professionals experience pressure about one's abilities to meet organisational and work demands. Several theorists argue that one's individual belief that they are not able to professionally perform due to lack of work-life balance increases their risk of becoming burnt out. One key issue for service providers is that they have not been adequately trained to practice in a caring environment, resulting in feelings of stress and anxiety concerning their professional abilities. Further to this, variations in a worker's professional values and job demands are interconnected with the risk for role stress and symptoms of burnout. Both role stress and burnout are associated with stressful job demands, difficult clients, high workloads, and unsupportive environments, which all interlink to a work-life balance. Burnout is a well-known concept that describes a subjective psychological experience that includes feelings of being stressed, emotionally overextended, and drained by one's work. Burnout is linked to serious inadequacies in a worker's job performance, which include depersonalization of clients, job satisfaction, lack of professional efficacy, and turnover. To understand work-life balance and the importance of its role in a professional role, ecological systems theory can be used. By using this systems approach, we can see the clear connection of health and welfare within organizational thinking. Systems theory highlights the importance of relationships and interconnections. It encourages individuals to think about how people and organizations influence each other. So when looking at how one or an organization analyzes their own work-life balance, the systems approach can assist in investigating the interactions of the component elements of the larger environment, such as families, job, and human characteristics. System theory allows the exposure of opposing forces, moving towards change and the desire to maintain equilibrium, which can help the tension of a work-life balance in a workplace. It reminds professionals that a change in systems can be very complex, but there needs to be awareness of the whole rather than a part of the organization. Literature states that the organizational culture has a great impact on the stability of work-life balance. Culture is the social glue that helps hold the organization together by providing standards for how employees can achieve work-life balance and can enhance and shape an employee's attitude and behavior. To keep this culture alive, there are three forces that play an important role in sustaining culture. This includes selection, top management, and socialization. The three-part process is complete when members have internalized and accepted the norms of the organization and they are feeling confident in their competence, they understand the system, and they know what is expected of them. These key factors have a great influence on a successful work-life balance. If the culture is high in an organization, it is likely that it will support ethical standards and promote proper codes of ethical conduct that can be supported by the Australian Association of Social Workers Code of Ethics, Aims and Values. A positive organizational culture allows building on employee strengths, rewarding work environment, and promotes vitality and growth. I will now share my own lived experience of how work-life balance impacted me personally. Last year, I worked as a residential youth worker for 6 months. In this role, I worked with young people with complex behavior and various trauma. I pride myself on being an empathetic person, however, in this role, did not realize the importance of boundaries and how these can positively impact my work-life balance. There was quite a high staff turnover in this role due to lack of work-life balance that could cause burnout. Because of this, there was a high demand in filling shifts. These shifts include days, night shifts, and sleepovers. That would include major incidents that would impact my mental health due to vicarious trauma. As a student commencing practical assessment for my degree, the goal was to complete a certain amount of hours in a short amount of time for my degree requirements, and in turn, I insisted on working overtime and saying yes to extra shifts. Due to the organisational culture, I felt pressured to work these shifts and take care of the young people in the residential house. For most of this time, I felt tired, stressed, and very tired, and this led to poor job satisfaction. In realizing how burnt out I was becoming, I had a discussion with my supervisor about my concerns and was then recommended to take some leave. This was beneficial as I was able to utilize self-care and self-reflection to improve my boundaries and work-life balance. This allowed better job satisfaction and a refreshed attitude towards the organization and my professional role. By informing my supervisor about my concerns, we came up with a mental health/work-life balance care plan. After this, the organization reflected on its culture and how they could better support their workers. This highlights the importance of a work-life balance as there are many workers that have suffered from this burnout. Thank you for listening.